This is Sunny Side Up.
What's up, y'all? This is Sunny, and I am collecting travel stories from different people. Here's my interview with Shelley, my friend, my hairstylist, and an awesome travel agent. All right, everybody, I'm Sunny, and I'm interviewing Miss Shelley. She's going to tell us all about her fun vacation stories. So, Shelley?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the best vacation you've ever been on?
Oh, wow.
There's been a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places is Ireland. It's beautiful. It's calm. The people are so kind. Like, they're literally the nicest people I've ever met.
See, now I want to go even more.
Yeah. Like, you're in a traffic jam. They stop and let you go.
Oh,
there's no road rage at all.
Wow.
Like, people are just super kind. They're always willing to help you if you don't know where you're going. They take interest in people that are there. There's little to no crime.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
forget vacation. Let's move there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They have very strict gun laws there. So you can own a gun, but they have to be stored. From my understanding, our little guy that was with us, they're stored in a facility. And so you can own 3 and you can take them out to go hunting or whatever, but it's not like you can just have one laying around your house.
That's interesting. Okay, so you're saying that it's not like they have to store it a certain way in their home. They actually have to store it at a certain... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something new I hadn't heard of. That seems like a really good idea.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. So they're very strict about their gun laws. I mean, people hunt and do all that stuff still, there, but they're very, very strict about it. So, which entails low crime rates.
Yeah. That must make you feel really safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I walked around by myself, even at night. I never felt threatened, anything. And those cities are really old too. So it's little bitty narrow cobblestone streets, and you may not know what's around the corner, but I mean, I never felt any anxiety or unease at all when I was traipsing around there.
Was it kind of, you were traveling around different areas, or were you big city, rural?
Yeah. So we did both. So it was kind of like a bus tour. And so you would just go from place to place to place. And then you would maybe have a tour to see something in the morning, but then you had the afternoon free to just roam around and discover things on your own. So it was a good mix of both. Now I want to go back and just rent a car, which is kind of scary because they drive on the wrong side of the road. And some of the roads are really narrow, but again, people are so friendly. They don't, nobody's flipping anybody off. Nobody was doing anything wild. Our bus driver was so funny, Oliver. So I have Oliverisms that he would say while he was driving. And my favorite one was he would go, "Jesus Christ," on a motorbike. And you'd be like, "What?" He was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cuss." And I was like, "You didn't." What are you talking about? And he would just kind of giggle. And then the other one he said that was really funny was, "Jesus Christ, kick me through the goalposts of life." And I was like,
the goalposts of life.
Yeah. Goalpost of life. Yeah. Yeah. So he was super funny. We loved him, but it was just fun. I mean, we stayed in a couple of castles, and just, the funny thing is you really do see sheep just walking across the little road. It's not a big deal. People stop for them. It's a thing. But the thing that I noticed was they had spots, colored dots on them.
Really?
And I asked him, I was like, "What's the deal with looks like they've been hit with a bingo dauber of different colors?" And he was like, "That's how farmers mark their sheep." So John McHenry over here may have pink, and Ellie whatever may have purple, and guy down the street's like has blue. And he was like, but some of the farmland that they have is just so open, all the sheep just roam, but that's how they know which sheep is theirs. And then they shear them, at the end of whenever that season is, they shear them, and then they give them another little dot.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it was super fun. A
Yeah.
lot of history there, a lot of,
Yeah.
it is rainy some. I mean, it's an island, so
Mm-hmm.
there's a little bit of rain, but I mean, I would compare it like climate-wise maybe to Seattle,
Mm-hmm.
as far as just, it's not like a pouring rain. It's just more of like kind of a drizzle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's fabulous. Loved Ireland. Probably my next favorite place is Palma Mallorca, Spain.
Oh.
Which again, Palma Mallorca is an island and off the coast of Spain, and it's kind of like, I kind of compare it to California as far as like the landscape goes, like beaches. Then you can go up, and it looks kind of deserty in places, but then you go up and you're in the mountains. And the island's not huge, but it's big enough, obviously. But there's this cute little town called Valdemosa, and we went there for the day, and it's exactly what you think you're going to see in Europe, like little cobblestone streets and the flowers on the walls and the different painted doors and cafes and people walking outside and shops everywhere. And it's just fabulous.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it was another place where I was like, I can just live here.
I do love, it's really nice, I think, to take a trip where you can really immerse yourself in a different culture
Yes.
and really see something different from what you live every day.
Yeah.
So,
When we went to Italy, we took my mother-in-law for her 80th birthday. And so when we did that, it was different because we were traveling with two 80-year-olds, which is an adventure in and of itself. But the one thing she said is, why didn't I do this 20 years ago? Like, and she's really mobile and like good health and stuff. So she was great. My father-in-law, on the other hand, he's a little bit of a handful, but they still had a blast, and it was well worth it. But we spent a couple of days in Rome and then got on a cruise ship, and then we hit all the different ports along the Mediterranean. And so, I mean, I kind of tell people, like, if you don't know for sure, like, I want to go here, like, it looks interesting, and you think you can handle a cruise, like, not that nobody can, but some people are motion sickness, do a cruise, like, because you get a little bit of a taste for each place, and then you can decide, like, okay, this is somewhere I want to come back to, and I want to spend time here and really immerse myself in the culture.
that's good advice. I hadn't really thought about that. And you probably have a lot of those conversations because you are a travel agent.
Yes.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing that?
2.5 years now.
2.5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, and I just decided, because I always booked my own travel, and I'd used travel agents before. And then I just started booking my own travel, after I kind of got familiar with places that I would go repeatedly. And I was like, why did I not do this? Because then I started planning travel for my family and my friends, and, people be like, hey, will you help me? I'm sure, I'll do it. And it's just fun for me. It's a lot of fun. I mean, there are lots of places in the world that people don't think of,
yeah.
that it's really a big world.
Yeah.
And we only think of what we see and what's around us, and then, what you might see on like the Travel Channel or whatever. But the things on the Travel Channel are fabulous. Don't get me wrong, I love to watch them, but that's not real life for most of us.
Yeah.
A lot of those travel shows are people who have unlimited budgets and are celebrities, and they can do all of those things. For the rest of us, we're like, okay, well, what is there for the budget-friendly traveler that's still raising kids and wants to go somewhere? And so there are lots of things you can do on a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You just have to be open to experience different things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. So I asked you about best vacation. Do you have a worst vacation ever?
Worst vacation ever. I really have never had one that I just was like, oh my God, I would never do this again.
Okay.
But travel
good.
is one of those things, like, it's not always perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my favorite sayings is pack your patience,
Mm.
because you don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Things still happen when you're on vacation, just like they do when you're at home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have been stuck in airports.
Mm.
I have been stuck in storms. I've been stuck
Mm-hmm.
before, and I'm just like, well, okay, we'll get home when we get home. It'll be fine. Like, or we'll get there when we get there. I mean, luckily, I've never had anything tragic happen, but yeah, there are things that you get frustrated. You get stuck in customs and you miss a flight, or your connection gets canceled and you're trying to navigate stuff. But you can just stay calm.
Mm-hmm.
It all works out. It always all works out. I mean, now there are some places I'd never go back for sure. Not that it was a terrible vacation, but like, I don't really have a desire to go back to Rome.
Yeah.
I mean, Rome was great as far as like, seeing the Colosseum and the Vatican and the Sistine Chapel and the Trevi Fountain, and there's so much history there. But it's very congested. It's very dirty.
Mm.
I mean, it's just a big metropolis. And I mean, it's just a thriving city, but it's not what I envisioned it to be.
Yeah.
But
yeah, in my experiences when I've traveled, it seems like when you go to those big metropolises, those big, big cities, it seems like there is a lot more of that stuff that I would rather get away from, like huge crowds of people.
right.
And then they don't seem, in my experience, to be as welcoming. Like when I was in France, I had a much better time in Normandy than I did in Paris. Like I love art. And
Yeah.
so Paris was amazing for that. But also I ended up doing things like accidentally walking into a cloud of pepper spray, and that was really not great,
No, that's not fun.
Yeah, and they were definitely much more reluctant to help me out since I didn't speak French
Yes.
in Paris. But in Normandy, it was like, oh, it's great.
Yeah, we had an experience in Paris, and it was kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They were just kind of irritated that we were there
Yeah,
because we were American.
yeah,
And I think the one thing too is like when you're traveling, even going to Mexico,
mm-hmm.
I'm not a fluent Spanish speaker. I can understand more than I can speak.
Mhm.
I know the main words, cerveza, no mas,
The essentials, right?
baño, the things you need to know, taco, whatever. But I can understand more than I can speak. But most of the time when you're in foreign countries, they just appreciate it if you try.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think the one place we were in France, like that was probably the only place that like they were just kind of like, meh, we don't care about you.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, but everywhere else I've been has been really a good experience. I've never like had anything. I mean, there's been some terrifying experiences, but just because I didn't know where I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like I thought I was going to die, but there for a minute I was like, oh my God, why did I turn that corner? What am I? And then you're just like, okay, gather yourself, turn, it's fine. You get where you need to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the main thing. People just have to not lose it. Don't lose your cool. Like, it's okay. It's okay to be frustrated. It's not okay to cuss out the flight attendant or the gate worker or, what they're just trying to do their job. And pack your patience, people. It's a necessity of life.
Yeah, yeah. Well said. So I do have, I think, one more question.
Yeah, what you got?
Do you have a preference? Would you rather travel with family, with friends? Are you up for traveling with anybody?
I'll travel with anybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. My main thing is with travel is I'm a go, 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 go till you drop person, because I'm like, I'm here. I want to experience all the things. I didn't come here to sleep.
Yeah.
So my husband and I very often disagree on that. And so when we took my mother-in-law, I was very cognizant of the fact that they couldn't keep up with like the normal pace. So I tried to like space things out, but I had a list of things that I knew my mother-in-law wanted to do. So in doing all of those, like, I think I pretty much walked their legs off.
Mm.
My husband was like, are you trying to kill me? I was like, no. He was like, we walked 20,000 steps today. What is wrong with you? And I was like, this is just life. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So you have to know who you're traveling with. Like, I took a girls' trip last fall, and we get there, and I had asked before we went, when I made the reservations for us, I was like, hey, can you just kind of get us in the same area? Because you go to Mexico and resort trip day. And they were like, oh, yeah, we'll try to get you close. So I was like, okay. So we're all close, but we're like on the far end. So everything was like a walk. And so one of my girls, she was like, listen, I said, what? She goes, I did not sign up for fat camp. I said, what do you mean? And she goes, I want to go eat breakfast. I got to walk a mile to get there. I want to go to the pool. I got to walk half a mile to get there. And then if I get thirsty and I don't want something from the bar, I got to walk half a mile back over there. And I died. So that's like our running joke with my little girlfriends. I'm like, where are we going to fat camp again? And then they all just laugh. Like, so it just depends on what you're into. But you also just have to know, like, not everybody wants the same things out of travel. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to travel with a group of people, you just have to be like, okay, what are we doing? Is this something I can do? Is this something I don't want to do? And two, like with my group of girlfriends, like we all went on a boat one day. 2 of them didn't want to go. They get motion sickness. So they stayed back and they had massages, had their best life. Nobody's mad. Nobody's upset. Like, you're on vacation. Everybody wants to experience different things in different ways.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Yeah, for sure. Now, it's I think maybe a little tough when you have, like, I don't know, 4 kids and they all have a different idea of where they want to go, but still, yes, I love that.
And my husband and my son are the ones that they're like, we just want to relax, and they'll go and do. So when I travel with them, we usually go a day and then kind of relax a day, and we go a day and we relax a day. So you have to find that balance of what works for your family. But while they're relaxing, my daughter and I were like gone.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, we'll see when we get back.
Yeah. Okay.
And my daughter's like, Mom, where are you taking me? Like, because I'm very much like, if we were in California, and I mean, nobody hunt me down for this. It's been 10 years ago, so I think I'm safe. But we were in San Diego. We were just driving through the mountains of, in the country, and came upon this orange orchard. And I was like, oh, look, fresh oranges. Let's go get one. And there's like a big no trespassing sign. And I'm like, they're not going to care. It's on the ground. And she like refused to get out of the car. She was like, you have lost your mind. We're going to jail, Mom. But let me tell you, she did eat the oranges when we got back to the room. She was like, these are the best things ever. It's like,
that sounds like something that might happen between my son and I.
Yeah. I'm like, it's fine. Mm-hmm. I'm like, we're not from here. We can just be like, oh, we didn't see the sign. We didn't know. And she was like, Mother, you're not convincing. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So, I mean, I always tell people, don't go into a vacation expecting perfection, because it won't be perfect.
Yeah.
And when it's not, people tend to get upset. People tend to lose their cool, all those things. And so you just have to feel like, hey, calm down. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal. You'll be all right. Don't worry about it, And I mean, I've been on cruises where people have died.
Oh, wow.
Right there on the ship.
Wow.
We were stuck in a port in St. Thomas, not the worst place to be stuck. But we were supposed to have left port at 2. We didn't leave port till like 6 o'clock. Because, you're in a foreign country, somebody dies even though you're on the ship, because you're in port. They have to go through all of that process there. So, you don't live in a perfect world. We're not perfect people. Things are not ever perfect. I mean, I've had some flawless trips where everything went perfectly. And I've had some where my husband is looking at me like, what have you gotten me into? And I'm like, I don't know, just hang out and watch. It'll be fine. It's totally fine.
It's an adventure, right?
Yeah, it's an adventure. But you have to have that mentality too, of knowing like travel is an adventure, and it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing, dude. Don't wait. Don't wait until you're 80 years old to take your bucket list trip, and then you're told to enjoy it because you can't do all the things that you really want to do. Now, I will say we had a fabulous experience in Rome with my mother-in-law. She was raised Catholic, but isn't anymore necessarily. And so, but we were in the Sistine Chapel, and I don't know like what the time schedule is necessarily, but we just happened to be there at a time where the priests come in and they do a blessing. So it's like you're not allowed to talk in the Sistine Chapel. And when it gets loud, the priests are like, shh, Oh yeah, they tell you. And if you're being loud and they see you, like they'll come tap you, like it's very serious for them. I mean, that's their life. And so it was kind of interesting because they also opened up confession. Like if anybody wanted to go up and get a blessing or do confession with the priest that was there, they could. And so I could kind of tell she wanted to do it, but didn't really want to go up there. And so I was like, I'll go with you. Like, it's fine. So I walk up there and she kind of started talking to him and I'm like, that's personal, So I just kind of walked off to the side and just kept, gazing. And you can't take pictures in there either or video. So that's the other thing that stinks. Your neck hurts when you're done because you're just, trying to see everything, take it all in. But it was fun because she was like, I would have never thought I would have got to give confession and get a blessing from a priest at the Vatican in the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, that's a pretty unique story because I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about going there while that's been going on. So.
Yeah, so it was super interesting. And when we were there, Pope Francis was still the Pope, but he was sick. So he wasn't actually at the Vatican. He was at the hospital and stuff. But seeing all those things in real life, it's just very awe-inspiring, to see like all that. We went to Pompeii. That's another place. Like, Pompeii was, I don't know. I mean, I still don't have the words to describe how I felt in Pompeii. Like just knowing that those people were just living their life and all of a sudden a volcano erupts and they're buried.
Yeah.
And now they're excavating all of that. And you see like there's a family like that they've encased in glass and they're literally laying exactly the way that they found them. Like they've never moved them. And it's just like, man.
Yeah.
It was a mom and a dad and a toddler and then, an older child. And, I mean, and you're just like, I can't imagine just, in my mind, I'm thinking, I hope they didn't know what hit them. Like, I hope that it was so fast that that was just it. Because I can't imagine having that fear of knowing that something like that's coming for you.
Yeah. I think in places like that, there is a lot of that introspection and that just things that are difficult to describe, because you're learning, but you also know that something really terrible happened.
Yeah, something very terrible happened there. And the crazy thing is so you walk through Pompeii and you have to have some sort of like, you don't have to be a muscle bound fit, but you have to have a sense of balance and good mobility because the terrain is very rocky. It's kind of funny because there's like little like divots where they would carry like they would pull the wagons through, and so like the wheels like created divots in the stone, and so you could kind of see like the things that they did in daily life. But some of the walls, like you can still see the paint.
Wow. Yeah.
And it looks like it was done, I don't know, 30 years ago when it's literally been hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
And you're just like, how is this real? You read the stories, you watch the TV shows, you do all of that, and then you get there and you're like, oh my gosh, this is really real. They didn't use special effects for that. Like there was one sign in Pompeii where it's like a political campaign sign.
Wow.
And I was like, what is that? And our little guide, he was like, oh, it's, it was a political campaign sign. Like they still had elections for their people and did all this. And what's really interesting, since they've started excavating and opened up a lot of that ground, like the vineyards are coming back.
Oh.
It was like they were just dormant under all the rock and stuff. And now that they've like started excavating, like they have little areas that like there's vineyards and you're like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, my biggest advice to people is like, listen, you can make more money, but you can't get your time back. Time is the one thing that it's not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how much you have.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped buying gifts for our kids years ago for Christmas. Like we do a little, when they were little, we did little things and we still do, but like there's no big gifts anymore. It's a trip.
Yeah.
Like we go somewhere as a family and we share experiences because those are the things that you remember.
Yeah.
Your kids don't remember what you bought them last year at Christmas.
I'm not sure I remember when I bought my kids last year.
Well, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that was kind of the thing, like 1 year, we've been doing it for Ozzy's 15, so 13 years now. And 1 year I just asked my oldest too, and I was like, what did you get for Christmas last year? And they were like, and they both just kind of sat there, just stone faced, like, is this a trick question? Like, are we gonna get in trouble if we don't know? Kind of like, why is she asking us this? You could see the wheels turning, and they both were like, I mean, I know we got some clothes or, whatever. But I was like, okay, that's it. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's wasted money, number one. And they don't remember anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and now, like, they still talk about, like, the first time we went to Branson at Christmas time. That was the very first trip we took at the holidays. Because I was like, we'll just do something low key.
Mm-hmm.
They still talk about it. They talk about the first cruise we took. They talk about going to Mexico. They talk about, all of those things. Like, so those are things they'll never be without.
Yeah.
But they don't remember the pair of Nikes they got or the pair of AirPods or, whatever that stuff is. They're just like, oh, yeah, I think Mom got me that one time, or I think Dad did that. But they always remember the memories we make together.
That is wonderful. I like that. A lot of good takeaways.
Yes.
Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
giving me some time today and talking to me. And
You bet.
yeah, I'm going to see you around.
All right, I'll be here.
Bye.
Bye.